and I looked high and low for that cutter that I use for crankshafts. Can't find it. So I'm gonna make another one, and I'll show you what I got. Show you what I got here to make it. Basically what I did was I took a square piece of steel. Just I don't know what kind of steel it is. It's steel. It's either cold roll or a tool steel. It's not stainless. It's just the steel, and a carbon steel. And I went ahead and I milled the sides down, and I think I milled them to 250. No. I'm sorry. 150. And I've got, and then I set it up at 45, and I cut relief in it. If you can see that, like a little V block down the length of it. The plan is what I did last time. Set that in there, so clean it all up, set that in there, silver solder it, grind a tip on it, grind this down to just about half the diameter, put an edge on it. There's a little bit of grinding to do, but they work nice when you get them done. Anyway, the one that I had before worked nice, and worked better than a part-off blade. Part-off blades aren't really made for turning. I mean, they're made for going straight in. They don't really have the correct relief on the sides so that you can move sideways. You'd have to grind. You almost have to grind it. So anyway, I will have plenty to reach in here all the way, so I should be able to reach in there, because I think I calculated 800 or something like that. Let me get my calipers here. I think I have to reach in about, so it's from that point, and that's the center line, so that would be out about there. So just taking a kind of rough guesstimate. There somewhere. So, and that's what I've got. It's about 800 thou. And this here tool, when I get done, will have approximately 1'2". So it should be easy to reach in there. This is an old broken cutter here that I've got. That's why I say I never throw them away. They come in handy, and I'll have to grind the end off, which is, I'll probably take one of my diamond for my Dremel tool. It's got I got a diamond tool. I can just cut it off, cut it flush off. I should probably do that before I silver solder it on. So once I do that, I'll silver solder. I'll clean this all up, silver solder it on. Grind. I'll try to grind it down to about half the diameter, just shy of half the diameter, because I'm going to try to set up and grind some side relief on both sides, and definitely out here where it's going to cut. Well, it'll be all the way. This will be actually a little narrower back here. I'll have it tapered so that the widest point is out here. Actually, I may not even grind relief on that. I may just go a flat cut, a flat grind cut from about there in. I think that's what I done on the other one. I went and I don't remember. It's been such a long time ago that I made that. I wish I could find it, but I'll just grind a flat cut from there back so that it's the same as this on both sides, and then I don't even have to worry about the height back here, only up here. So I'll just grind this height down, and like I say, I'll have it cut off right about here, and I'll silver solder it so that it's sticking out about a couple hundred thou for sharpening purposes. And that's the only spot where I'm going to be grinding down to about the center, and then actually I will grind right down to the center of that. I don't even have to worry about side relief then, and then grind the angle on the end, and we'll be ready to go. It'll be cutting 3/16 wide when I go in, and I can just go back and forth, and I'll just come in the center, and actually I'll come in up against the dimension. I'll probably put the long end up to the headstock, the short end. No. Put the short end in. So I'll actually put it in backwards. I'll put it in with the short end to the headstock and this long end to the tailstock, so that I can pick up this edge, move over, plunge in, and then back out, and then move over the dimension, plunge in, back out, then to the center, then I'll cut the 315 in the center. Sound like a plan? So anyway, I will show you after I get done. I'll show you the process. I'll show you the steps. I'll cut that end off and show you what I have. Then I'll silver solder it, and then I'll show you what I have, and then I'll do the grinding, and then I'll show you what I have again. The grinding is, I'm not going to try to video that. I got to concentrate on the grinding when I'm grinding. So anyway, that's where I'm at. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the cutter. The cutter will look pretty close to the same as what I had before, but I don't know what I've done with it. I thought I had it laying on my shelf over there, and I dug through all my Little Demon stuff, because that's where I had made that cutter for the Little Demon, but nowhere to be found. So anyway, that's where I'm at. I'll be back. Okay, I took and went over on my lathe, and I covered up the ways with plastic, and then stuck this in the spindle, and I don't know if it's going to focus or not, but I went ahead and spun it, and came in with a diamond point on my Dremel tool and parted it off. So now it's ready to be put on, silver soldered in place. What I'll do is I'll take and clean everything up with alcohol. I'll take and snip off a piece of silver solder and just lay that right at the bottom here. Just lay it in the bottom of the V, and then lay this up on top, hopefully, and heat it up till she drops. It'll just go bloop, drop down in there, and of course I'll put flux on everything too. And then once it drops into place, turn off the heat, and we'll be in business. And then I'll start grinding the tip up. So I'll be back step by step here. In between, I've been still kind of going, well, did I put it here? And then I look, and I haven't found it yet. So I am definitely going to put that one in a place where I can remember where in the heck I put it. So, all right, later. Okay, I decided to go ahead and show you the process of my silver soldering. If I can find my part. Okay, here they are. This is just an old steel plates on a chair that I use for my heat treat or torch work, heat treating and whatever I do. I'm just going to take just a regular old Kleenex and I'm going to douse it in alcohol. This is denatured alcohol. And rub that down good. Got some red daikon, you can see, that I wiped off. And wipe this down good. And here's a little piece of silver solder that I cut off. Actually wipe it down also. Okay, and I just got to... And I'm not going to use that ugly brush. I'm going to get a Q-tip out of the cabinet here. My tripod. Okay. I'm just going to use the Q-tip. And if your silver solder or your flux gets really thick, you can add water to it, you know. I'm just going to... How come every time I'm making a video, someone's yelling for something to eat? Okay. Wipe the sides off. I just want it in the track. Okay. So then we'll take the silver solder and we'll lay that in there. And I'll take it. Just kind of put some down the piece of carbide, and it's going to go this way. Should be able to see it move when it gets to temp on the torch. Take the torch and light it up. I got a number two tip. Alright, I'm going to zoom you in a little bit. Alright, so then hopefully it won't roll off. Starts to get red, it should move. I don't know if I've seen it move or not. Oh, I think it just dropped. Nope. Alright, well. Sometimes they need a little help. There it went. Okay, then just let it cool down. And don't quench it. Got it a little hot, but don't quench it. I mean, if you quench it, you're gonna ruin. While you could fracture your carbide, and the solder joint won't hold. Ask me how I know that. So don't get impatient. So I'll come back. I'm going to let that sit and cool for 15-20 minutes, and then I'll be back. Okay, I put the steel plate away. This is the chair I'm talking about. Just a old. So here it is. I'm just going to take a wire brush after it and clean off some of the stuck pretty good. Didn't flow back there quite as much as I'd like, but on the back side of it, it didn't flow as much as I would have liked, but it'll be okay. This side got plenty, because this side was the heat side too, so. Let's back up here. So now I'll grind a relief on the end of it, and I'll grind the top down to, well, first I'll grind the top down to the exact center of that. You know what? I should have, because I see part of a flute there. I should have turned it a little bit, I think. Well, hopefully it'll be okay. Well, I'll have to just grind it off. And I might have to cut this back at an angle underneath here too. But I've made, like I said, I've made cutters like this before, and they work pretty darn good. So that's one of the reasons why I do not throw any carbide chunks away. They come in handy. Small carbide chunks, big carbide stuff. There. Yeah. Go to the recycle. All right. So I may have messed up. I mean, if you go grind to the center, I may. Well, I'll figure it out. I'll get it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cover the ways on my, well, they are pretty well covered on my mill, and I'll put a diamond wheel in the highest RPM I've got on my mill and just use that to, you know, I could get my cutter sharpener down too and clamp it on there and do that. I'll have to think about it. I'll figure out a way of grinding that down. Whether it be on, I've done the last one I did it on the mill. I covered everything up and then came in with the diamond wheel at the highest RPM and the biggest diamond point that I had, and came in real slow and ground it. It worked fine. And I mean, so that way I had control of the height, you know, of how far I'm grinding down. All right, I'll show you when I get it all ground up. Okay, got it ground up, and this is what it looks like. It's a nice square front on it, and it's exactly the diameter of the broken tool. And then I went on the sides and ground the diameter down so it wouldn't rub from here back. Yep, got it all the way, and on both sides, and it's ready to go. It's nice square. I just got to make sure I get the front end square. If it's too much cutting pressure on it, I will come in and I will with a diamond, and I'll relieve the middle of it and just leave the two outside edges, and then I'll just be able to take, well, whatever I relieve it. If I leave it 15 thou, I'll be able to go 15 cut, 15 cut, 15 cut. So now I can get back to setting up the to drill the center holes. I haven't done that yet. I got the knees sitting here. I gotta clamp it down, dial it in, and then clamp the other one down. But that might be after I go and do some more snow blowing, so it'll be late this afternoon. So when I get back, get this dialed in and get ready to poke the center holes, I will come back and we'll move over to lathe and set up the lathe. I'll have to round up a dog, and I think I got a dog. Yeah, I do have a dog hanging up there on my board in the back, and we'll set up a center and a dog and see what we can do.